Kirby, a series I've always wanted to look into, and I finally have an excuse to now. I can remember being young and seeing a Kirby game in a store, and I think it was called like Kirby Mouse Attack or something for the DS, and just going, it looks good, but it's not Sonic or Crash, so no. Kirby to me for the longest time was just that character that I really liked playing as in Smash Bros. Up until these videos, the only Kirby game I've played other than in the Masterpiece section of Brawl was Kirby's Epic Yarn for the Wii. I seen the ads for it and thought, that looks good, so I asked for it for Christmas and my mum, yes I said mum not mom, said no, that game's for girls, the main character's pink. It's not for girls, there's a boy in the trailer, look. Luckily my sister got it for Christmas and I played it way more than her, to the point where she scribbled in the manual that I wasn't allowed to even play it. I think I still own it actually. I think I've put all these in alphabetical order. I think it's in K. Oh no, I know it's in K. Kirby's Epic Yarn. Here we go. It's the same copy I had a long time ago. Bang. Yep. There it is right there. Mark can't play Kirby's Epic Yarn on the Wii. Okay, I went off track there. Back to the game. This video was in Kirby's Dream Land. This was a game released for the Nintendo Game Boy in 1992 and was made by HAL Laboratories. The original creator of Kirby was actually the same guy that made Smash Bros. Masahiro Sakurai. I'm not good at pronouncing them. I wanted to create a game that would be fun for people who aren't good at action games. So I'm in for an easy time. If you're wondering why Kirby's black and white in the box art, it's because initially they couldn't agree on what colour he should be. But as we all know, they went with pink. This isn't a big deal since it's released for the Game Boy, which didn't have any colour. Unless you want to count green. And dark green. What's the plot? That's a good question. I don't know. I couldn't tell at all from what the game was showing me. I started an adventure and half an hour later I was done. From what Wikipedia told me, the gluttonous King DDD has stolen all the food from all the inhabitants of Dreamland, as well as the sparkling stars needed to obtain more food. So Kirby, a young resident of Dreamland, volunteers to retrieve the food and stars and stop DDD. I don't know why he wants all the food, or if he's stolen all the food, then how come there's still food scattered along the levels for extra health. But it's a simple plot for a simple game. The game is a simple 2D platformer. You take control of Kirby trying to get a star at the end of the level and fight a boss, whether it be a tree, a cloud, a blimp, or a weird elf thing with a bomb. The graphics are pretty good for a Game Boy title. I can tell what everything is, and maybe that's only because there's only 5 levels. They stand out even if there isn't any colour to identify them apart. Kirby can fly infinitely and eat and swallow enemies. To my surprise, you actually can absorb the enemy and take their powers in this game, possibly one of Kirby's most iconic abilities. There are only 5 levels, being Green Greens, creative name there, Castle, Float Islands, no shit island floats, Bubbly Clouds, I don't have anything to say for that, and Mount DDD, where you have a rematch with all the bosses in the game and finally fight King DDD. All the bosses are defeated in the same way, by just sucking up an item and shooting at the boss. I actually had a bit of trouble though for the King DDD fight, since I didn't know that you had to collect the stars that he popped out either from breathing or from hitting the ground with a hammer. And for some reason it takes place in a boxing ring that he has in his castle. The music is also very catchy. I remember some of the tracks at least, even though there are only a couple. But it's all good stuff. I came into this game expecting an easy experience that I would finish in about 20 minutes, and for the most part, I was right. None of the levels feel harder than the last, and because the Game Boy had no colour, all the levels kinda look the same. The game can be challenging at times. You think with Infinite Flight that you could skip past everything and eliminate all the challenge, but they made lots of enemies fly and have a roof in most of the time. But like I said, within 20 minutes you defeat King DDD and restore food back to the kingdom. And for some reason, I don't understand, but apparently this place where Kirby lives is filled with Kirbys. Overall, I didn't hate my time with Kirby's Dream Land. It's not bad, it can be quite fun at times, but it's way too short, and if I were to sum this game up in one word, it would be forgettable. Next is... I don't know actually. When I looked at the Kirby timeline, most of the games are spin-offs, so I don't know how I want to handle this marathon. Maybe I'll just do the main series games and tackle the spin-offs in one video, like all of them at once. Thanks for watching anyway. Bye. Actually, now that I remember it, my only other experience with Kirby was actually the anime. I remember it being on a couple times along with Sonic Underground and stuff, and watched it and actually thinking it was pretty okay.
Kirby, 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 that's the name you should know. Kirby, 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 he's the star of the show. He's more than you think, he's got maximum pink. Kirby, Kirby, Kirby's the one. He comes around, back at ya. He comes around, back at ya. Give it all that you got, take a very best shot, 'cause then you're right back at you for sure.